Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 16th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We've got this low pressure system out over the open ocean, Gulf of Alaska. It's mainly just eye candy, but a pretty strong storm that will be impacting portions of southeast Alaska, and not really much of an impact here across Pacific Northwest from the storm, other than the ridge that is amplifying in front of it. And we've got some high pressure across interior portions, and that's going to kick off these winds that are already starting to blow as we speak right now. So we're going to go over that in some detail. We'll take a look at the extended forecast. Looks like we're probably going to start to get a bit more active as we move towards the later portion of September. So if you want a nice affordable home weather station, you can still get one of these before the fall weather starts to kick in. Highly recommend this station. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. Now, taking a look at smoke here quickly, and you can see as we go through the day today, look at the Wildcat fire firing up a little bit, and again, the Sugarloaf fire producing some smoke out there. Not too bad west of the mountains, but if you're near one of these fires here, you don't need me to tell you that you've been dealing with this surface smoke off and on for days now, and then we go through the day on Wednesday, see it flare up again and impact portions like Chelan. And then we go through Thursday and probably flaring up again here. We need some additional frontal systems to roll through here over the next few weeks to help suppress these fires. Now, red flag warnings are in effect here, Cascades West, all the way to the I-5 corridor. We also got wind advisories for some select locations, some small craft advisories out on the coastal areas here as well. And yeah, so watch out for that. But if I click on that wind advisory, again, this is mainly from Enumclaw up towards the Highway 2 corridor, and the winds are already starting to blow here. So again, I've seen some gusts to 39 miles per hour or so, and that can start to cause damage this time of year because of all the leaves on the trees out there. Those act as sails, and of course, insects and drought, all kinds of stuff can damage trees during the summertime. When they first get tested, some of those trees can start to come down and some big branches and whatnot that could cause some power outages. So I've been checking some of the weather stations out here. And what we've got so far is looks like if we go to the I-90 corridor here and I click on this one right there, you can see the max gust is 36 miles per hour so far. If I click on this one, 39 miles per hour. So yeah, we're starting to get some of those east winds rolling through here. Now, if we take a look here at the high resolution rapid refresh, so this is where we are right about now. Let's see, about 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Pacific daylight time. And you can see that we've got some of these east winds going on. And if we scroll on in through 9, 10, 11, 12, you can see them weaken as we go on into the afternoon hours. So that is a good thing. We should be peaking here over the next few hours, probably starting to die off by about 11 a.m. or so. But they do have that wind advisory out through tonight towards the midnight hour. Now, warm temperatures today, I mean, my goodness, look at some of these temperatures here for Western Oregon, Western Washington, and I'll show you what the high resolution model shows here in a moment. But yeah, warmer than eastern portions here, a very warm 1 day shot here, and then we go through Wednesday and we cool things down dramatically and we warm things up a bit here east of the Cascades, and you can still see places like Medford, Oregon, 92 degrees, and some upper 80s out there for eastern Washington, but definitely cooling down for Western Washington, Western Oregon. Then we go through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get a frontal system coming in Sunday. More on that here in a moment as well, as we start to look at a bit more active weather as we go through the end of September, at least hopefully so. So look at the 2 meter temperature here. I'm going to close that out and we're going to zoom in a little bit here. So this is the actual forecast temperature for the high resolution rapid refresh. This is about 8 a.m. There's 9, 10, 11, 12. Look at, by the time we get towards the noon hour, Seattle 83 degrees. Look at Quilly right on the coast, 77 degrees by noon here in mid-September. We go through 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It wants to push Seattle towards 90 degrees in some areas, all the way up and down, up into southwest BC. Very warm temperatures into the Fraser River Valley here. Look at Olympia and Centralia, Chehalis, all the way down through Portland, Willamette Valley, 90 plus degree readings out there. And yeah, we'll see if we can hit 90 at SeaTac. That would be quite a feat here through mid-September. Again, not unheard of. Now, but it is rare for this time of year. I should throw that disclaimer in there. Seattle Tacoma International Airport. The European wants to show 89 for Seattle. Again, the National Blended Model said 86. We're probably headed towards the upper 80s, and the GFS shows in the low 90s. Actually, I'll show you that here in a moment. But you can see we got this one warm day here, and then we cooled down pretty dramatically here over the next few days. But still some comfortable temperatures out there. It's not like we're going into any kind of a stormy pattern just yet, but stay tuned for Sunday's forecast, which we'll look at actually actually here right now. So this is what we saw on the mid-level water vapor loop, that storm system out over the open water. You see we're not going to get any precipitation here across Washington or Oregon. That one might clip Vancouver Island, some of western BC here, but that is rapidly decaying as it approaches the coastline and we go through the day tomorrow. And it will cool us down as we switch up the flow a little bit. We're not going to have that strong onshore flow for Wednesday. So we scroll up towards Friday. We remain dry across much of the region until we get to Friday afternoon. We start to pop off a few showers, maybe across the Oregon Cascades, Northern California, up into the Washington Cascades. Shows a few showers popping off there. And then we start to scroll towards this weekend. Here we go through the day Saturday. Look at this frontal system starting to push in here. And this is more like a typical fall frontal system, a little bit blustery, but this would be some much needed rainfall here across the region as well as we go through the day on Sunday. So yeah, a little bit of a change coming here, and then I'll show you the extended forecast here more in a moment. But this is that Sunday frontal system here. Again, not exceptionally windy or anything like that, just a little bit blustery and some precipitation potential for Seattle. Better chance for a little bit of stronger wind action here as we go through September 25th, 26th, towards the end of the month as a jet stream potentially starts pointing back towards the Pacific Northwest. If we look at Hoquiam on the Washington coastline as well, it does show the potential for a little bit of a windy period here as we go towards the end of the month. Nothing standing out here as far as any individual storm as of right now, just some random ensemble members showing some stronger stuff. Here's Quileute, and you can see, of course, on the northwest Washington coastline there, it is a bit, windier here. And you can see that that frontal system moving through on Sunday might get some 30-mile-per-hour gusts, 35 or something like that. But you can see some of the stronger storms out there through the end of September. Tillamook, Oregon, down the Oregon coastline as well into September. It does show the potential maybe for some windy conditions here. Again, we'll be watching that as we go day by day. Now, looking at 500 millibars on last night's European model, there's that system out there over the open water. We got the ridge over the area right now, giving us our very warm conditions. We scroll through here, and we start to look off into the extended here, and not too bad, coming through this week, some comfortable temperatures. But then this frontal system, as we go through the day on Sunday, you can clearly see it. The heights start to lower across western BC. Frontal system pushes through. Then what is going to happen after that? Well, the Gulf of Alaska trough starts to get active. So let's take a look at some other models here as well, like the GFS, the 06C. Let's see if it has Sunday's frontal system. We're going to scroll through there. We're now into Saturday, and it does. It shows that system kind of swinging through there. And then we've got the Gulf of Alaska also gets active in the GFS as well. And the GFS, actually, last night's run was pretty darn right stormy, as you can see, with this troughing kind of hanging out here as we go through the end of September. Some frontal systems, some potentially windy systems as well, and definitely cooler temperatures than what we're dealing with today. Now, GFS, let's take a look at what the mean sea level pressure would look like. You can kind of see a little blustery with that Sunday system there, but nothing too extreme. Definitely windier across some of western BC here, and maybe some of the higher terrain get some better gusts out of that. But then we scroll off into the extended. Look at this storm moving right into Haida Gwaii there. Got a pretty strong system there as well. And then we scroll off into the future and look at this storm system approaching the region here. That's way off into fantasy land, but it just kind of shows you that we may get more active towards the end of the month. Now, the GFS ensemble mean, this is the jet stream at about 39,000 feet. So there's our ridge right here. Pacific Northwest is to the right. There's the trough in the system out over the Gulf of Alaska. We put that into motion. And what I want you to pay attention to is that jet stream. So let's see what it does as we start to head off in towards this weekend. So there's that frontal system on Sunday. You see the jet stream extended all the way across the North Pacific, racing across the Gulf of Alaska there. And then we want to see what's coming after that. Well, it looks like the jet stream wants to remain active, as you can see in the GFS ensemble members here, kind of pointing that at the Pacific Northwest as we go. Now, let's take a look at the artificial intelligence European model. This is at 39,000 feet also. So let me back that up, and you can again see the ridge that is affecting us now, the system out over the Pacific Ocean, the Gulf of Alaska. Then we go towards a Sunday, and you can see that jet stream starting to point at the region, starts to get in there towards the Pacific Northwest. You can see the trough over the open waters there. A little bit more buckling in the jet stream on the artificial intelligence ensemble mean here. So we'll see how that goes. But if we go through the extended, you can kind of see that jet stream still pretty active here across the northern Pacific Ocean back towards the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, we'll be watching that day by day. 6 to 10 day, and this is above normal for the entire lower 48 really, except for maybe some of the East Coast there. But the above normal precipitation continues to show as we go towards the end of the month. There's the 8 to 14 day near normal and the above normal as well. The Climate Prediction Center picking up on some of that troughing that should be with us here as we go through the end of the month there. Check out the Patreon page if you like. The link is down below. If anything should happen in previous or future hacking attempts, let's say, go to the Patreon page because I have total independent control with them, and they were very responsive to when I went through the hacking of my email. They allowed me to change it here pretty quickly. So thanks to Patreon for that. But anyway, I'm going to log off here. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.